Circe is the rogue agent credited with converting Faye Lau over to the Black Tusk. So with this in mind, what more can she add to the story behind the former second wave commander going rogue? Alicia COSWALD, call sign Circe, grew up in Brooklyn, New York. Although she didn't come from money, she more than made up for it with determination and dedication. Circe is a confident, proud American citizen with an optimistic and positive attitude towards everything she sets her mind to. After doing a tour in the army, she took advantage of the GI Bill, a law that was introduced in 1944 that helps veterans with the funding towards education, including college, graduate school, and other training programs. It was during this time that she was approached and then recruited by the division. After graduating college, Circe went on to teach English as a high school teacher, and it was around this time that the dollar flu was first released into New York City. It wasn't long after she was activated that she realized that the division was hopelessly unprepared for the situation they were facing. As a strong, patriotic individual, she believed that the SHD didn't have what it took to get the country through these difficult times. Circe was eventually approached by the Black Tusk. Having already lost faith in the division, it didn't take much convincing to bring her over to their side. Sometime after the Black Tusk made themselves known to the division and invaded Washington, D.C., Circe was captured by Agent Faye Lau.
I know you're working with someone.
Careful, Faye. You don't want to make Isaac upset. He hit me like that again, he'll think you've gone rogue. You teamed up with the JTF. We do what we have to.
You got a concussion?
You're the one who isn't thinking straight. What's your mission, Agent? To save what remains?
To ensure survival. That we live on. That when we finally get back on our feet, there is something left to stand on.
Cool story, Faye. And how's that working out for you?
It's hard, but we're stable.
Sure. For now. What about next week? Or the week after? Or when you haven't had a Sarah delivery for months and the medicine runs out and the people who work together so well right now turn on one another? What are you gonna do then, Faye?
We will adapt. We will work together and find a way to move forward.
And when they steal your tech and turn your turrets against you, what'll you do then, Faye?
What I have to, Alicia.
I'm doing the same. You're not there yet, but you'll see we're the same.
I'm not like you. I'm not a traitor.
I'm not a traitor. I'm effective. I can see where this is going and who can actually make a change. You'll figure it out eventually. Or you'll die. Either way, my boys will find me soon enough and then you'll need to make a choice.
What choice is that?
To let me go. Or see if you're good enough to take on my team.
Who are you working with?
Still haven't figured it out. Thought you were better than this.
I just want to confirm it.
You scared?
Never.
You should be.
We took out the LMB. I'm not afraid of Black Tusk.
So you are as smart as you pretend to be.
I'm a lot of things. You shouldn't underestimate me. Now, tell me about your first meeting with Schaefer.
How do you know about Schaefer?
Circe was surprised to learn that Faye knew of Barden Schaefer. Had she too been approached by him? Were they still in contact? Regardless, Faye eventually agreed to release her. Circe would regroup with the Black Tusk. Although she was the one being interrogated, Circe had learned a lot from their interactions. She sensed a certain vulnerability, a degree of doubt in Faye's eyes. Circe talked to Schaefer about the potential of a new valuable asset towards the Black Tusk cause.
She get anything out of you?
Nothing we didn't want her to.
She gonna be a problem?
Pretty sure she's an asset.
You think she's ready?
She's desperate. A little push and she's one of us.
Is that a good idea?
No one has better access to the division than Faye. We bring her to our side, we'll know where all the bodies are buried. Then it's just a matter of time before they fall and we rise.
Although apprehensive about the idea, Schaefer takes Circe's feedback on board and proceeds with plans to entice Faye over to their side. some time has passed. The division has managed to locate and eliminate Keena's rogue agents, and eventually the man himself. And this is when it was made known that Faye Lau herself has gone rogue.
I can't believe we're working together again.
Sorry about the black site.
I get it. You didn't know what this was.
You're right, I had no idea what this was. I'm starting to understand, though.
I'm glad you signed on. I always liked you, Faye.
I like you too, Alicia.
Use my call sign, Circe. Makes it less weird. Alicia's too personal. Reminds me of life before this shit.
Fair enough.
You want a call sign for this op?
No. It's better if I remember where I came from.
Circe confides in Faye, welcoming her to the team with open arms, forgiving her for a lack of understanding from their earlier interactions. But it wasn't long before Schaefer gave Faye her own team to work with, and one of the first assignments she gave out to Circe was to get the location and schedule of President Ellis.
What do you need?
Just a location and schedule. Should be a piece of cake for you, Circe.
Whose location and schedule do you need?
Chicken Hawk.
That's need to know, Faye. You know that.
I need to know.
What do you want it for?
Just need to make sure that he's not in any danger. Getting rumblings about transports and mobile units outside of DC going through Maryland. Just want to confirm that Chicken Hawk's not in any danger.
Although suspicious of her reasoning, Circe gets her the information.
Schaefer really knows how to pick them.
Hey, he picked me.
We're different. His original squad, complete fuck-ups.
You're not wrong.
How do you lose the Pentagon?
How do you lose a bioreactor?
You know, I still can't tell if it's incompetence or a leak.
A leak?
Someone on the inside leaking intel to the division.
Why would you say something like that?
Makes more sense than Wyvern losing the antivirals and random agents getting lucky.
Wyvern wasn't stable on the best of days.
For an elite squad, our comms should be secure. We shouldn't be having these leaks. Isaac's good, but he's not that good. There's no way that we should be compromised like this.
Maybe someone programmed a backdoor into our comms relay, just pumping intercepted radio to some data analyst in a basement under the Lincoln Memorial.
Makes sense.
Viper, I was kidding. Jesus, you need to get laid. You're wound too tight.
You might be right. But I wouldn't let any of these chuckle fucks touch me. They're not exactly my type.
Acknowledging the failings of Schaefer's original squad, Circe proclaims that this time is different, and when the time came, she set forth executing her part in the operation. Taking a unit of BTSU, she started capturing locations of interest in southern Manhattan. Multiple sites were captured in Battery Park, the Financial District, Civic Center, and 2 bridges. But much like the many rogue agents the division have come across in the past, they were able to stop the rogue advances. The SHD were able to quickly and efficiently remove any trace of her movements in New York, and eventually caught up to her. Circe put up a tough fight. In fact, it took the agents a couple more attempts than they would ever like to admit to. However, in the end, she was no match for them, and was ultimately killed in the fight. I had hoped to include the conclusion of Faye Lau in this video, but due to me being already a little late to the party with this, and also the fact that I'd like to put a little more of my time into the thoughts around what had happened, because I really don't feel that what we saw in-game did her story justice. Before I finish this up, I'd really like to thank the people who have gone out of their way to become members of the channel, especially some of the more recent high-tier additions. I haven't asked for permission, so I won't be displaying any names apart from Jeremy Pontier, you beautiful bastard. Given all that is happening in the world during this time, and the fact that so many families are struggling to get through it, including the economic impact to places as isolated as New Zealand, I can't thank you enough. You are literally helping feed my children. It's no secret that this channel is purely a hobby for me. When times get tough, hobbies are the first to go, but because of this sort of support, I'm stoked to be able to continue doing this. However, for everyone else, please don't feel like this is me reaching up for more. In all honesty, your viewership and in some cases intense support is more than enough. This is just helping to tie it in with other priorities. While there is interest in what I'm producing, I'll do my best to continue doing it. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers!